Hi, I'm David,
And I'm Leslie.
and we enjoy spending our vacations traveling around the world by bicycle.
On some previous trips, we cycled around Sweden and Denmark, marveling at the amazing cycle paths there. A couple summers ago, we flew into Paris, and we made our way to the Loire Valley and cycled around there for a few weeks. It was amazing. Mostly, though, we spent some great time here in Ontario, marveling at the wonderful landscape that we live in.
We're starting this trip at the end of June 2024 and plan to spend about 3 weeks cycling largely north on the Eurovelo 15. We flew into Frankfurt, spent the night, assembled our bikes, and then took a train to Andermatt, Switzerland, where we then cycled down Eurovelo 15 through Liechtenstein and Austria to Basel, Switzerland. Then we cycled a little bit west towards the Eurovelo 5 and cycled through the Alsace region, through Strasbourg, and then cycled back into Germany to Offenberg, and then took a train to Luxembourg, where we cycled over towards the Mosel River, down the Mosel River to Koblenz, and then back up on the Rhine, and ended in Mainz, where we took a train back to Frankfurt. In this fifth video from our trip, we start in Colmar and we pedal through the vineyards on the foothills of the Vosges through some interesting Alsatian towns like Riquier, Ribeauville, and Bergheim. We stopped at our first winery in the Alsace for a wine tasting, and then we arrived a couple hours later in the city of Obernai, where we spent the night. The next morning, we continued northward, heading towards Strasbourg, went through the city of Molsheim, and cycled along a very old canal called the Canal de Bruges before arriving in Strasbourg, where we spent 2 nights. When leaving Strasbourg, we then cycled back towards the Rhine River to the city of Offenberg in Germany, where we got on the first of 3 trains that eventually led us to the city of Luxembourg. All right, it's back on the road after a day in Colmar, well, hanging around the canals and old buildings, and now we're heading back towards the Vosges Mountains ahead of us through the vineyards that seemingly encircle Colmar. We have about a 70-kilometer ride today to get to Obernai, going through a couple of old medieval towns. Had a nice dinner last night, some nice wines from the region last night, and can't complain. It's 20 degrees, chance of rain, maybe thunderstorms, but I think it should be a nice weather morning. Go left here. Yep. Bummer onto the gravel. A bumpy asphalt, very old asphalt.
And gravel.
And then gravel, yeah. Can't win them all. And the crows, yeah. This must feed into Colmar. So we did learn yesterday at a wine tasting that during World War II, most of the vines around here were destroyed. So almost all the grapevines in the region are no older than the 1940s. I think that might be Ingesheim or Turkheim, I'm not sure. Pedaling through the grapevines. We're headed up in that direction towards the north. far as you can see.
The small medieval towns near Strasbourg in the Alsace are known for their storybook charm and half-timbered houses, cobbled streets, and a rich blend of French and German heritage. Towns like Obernai, Roberville, Riquier, Iguishim, and Kaiserberg are especially picturesque, and we were lucky to go through a few of them. They feature colorful architecture, historic castles, flower-lined balconies, and are often surrounded by the vineyards that we've just ridden through.
That's the lingerie at the end, yeah. The building on the right looks a bit different. It's like stone, not the timber. Yeah. Right here. Where time is this town? One of our hobbies is geocaching, so we were able to stop a few times and get some geocaches in the Alsace. That's what it says. The haircutting places are open. Something you only see on the highways in France or Las Baguettes. Second one in a row. We're on this little busy stretch here of this little fountain. Oh, no drinking. I was all set to drink this one. Town of Winterswiller. This looks like Switzerland. Left turn here. Yeah. They've got, whatever these flowers are, they're making a lot of them in France. Is that there are no people. Nice view, isn't it?
After riding through so many vineyards, it was great to stop at a winery. Domaine Armand Gilg was a historic winery that's been in one family since the 1600s, with cellars dating back to the 1500s. This little town that it was located in was called Mittelbergheim, and it was really one of the most beautiful villages we visited in Alsace. We were able to taste a few wines, including the Pinot Gris and Sylvaner, and we learned all about the Grand Cru. It was a really fabulous visit. The woman was very generous, knowing that we were on our bikes and couldn't buy any wine.
Then we go straight through the roundabout. Mega bumpy though.
We arrived in Obernai in the early afternoon, and it's another one of those absolutely adorable historic towns of the Alsace, but this one has some Roman origins, which is really interesting. It was one of those towns that went back and forth in the Renaissance and the Middle Ages between French and German control. Eventually it became part of modern France, but it's really celebrated for its beautiful medieval charm, wine culture, and that combined French-German heritage.
I'm going to pull off to see what the hotel is. Wow. Back on the road on a Saturday morning, the eve of Bastille Day, and we are leaving Obernai. It's officially 15, but it feels warmer in the sun. I think the high is 23 today, which is very pleasant. About a 40-kilometer ride to Strasbourg, where we have 2 nights and laundry and a Michelin-star dinner at Au Crocodile. And the ride today I think is supposed to be mostly downhill. There's a noticeable bump in the topographic profile though, midway between, so there's going to be a climb somewhere. But I think we're leaving the Vosges foothills and wineries today, vineyards today, as we head to Strasbourg. We had a 26-meter climb leaving Obernai right out of the gate, which got the blood going. And that's it. So I have these little metal, these stone trough things. I don't know if they were old horse feet watering troughs. Yeah. This is pretty. You're frequently reminded that this is an active agricultural area, and so you often encounter not tractors this large often, but smaller vineyard tractors going in and out of the vineyards and crossing the pass as we were cycling along. Oh, this is a smooth looking cobble. I think I'm liking this town already. Yeah. Yeah.
As we learned at the winery we visited, the wines of the Alsace are renowned for their aromatic and expressive white wines, primarily made from grapes such as Riesling, Gewürztraminer, Pinot Gris, and Muscat. The region's unique terroir, influenced by the Vosges Mountains and the Rhine River, contribute to what many say is a distinct character of the wines. Alsace is also notable for the Grand Cru vineyards. These, we learned, represent the pinnacle of the quality of the region. So there are 51 designated Grand Cru sites, which are all recognized for their exceptional terroir. And it's a combination of soil, climate, exposure, and all those things together create wines of remarkable complexity and longevity.
That's a big church. It's ginormous. Look at this. Dog and a runner. Bonjour. Bonjour.
That's a stork.
Oh, in the tree. Yeah. Bonjour. Alzheimer's. Bonjour. It's like a little canal. Continues for a while, I think. Little geese with their babies.
The Canal de Bruche is a 20-kilometer canal in eastern France. It was built way back in 1682 to transport sandstone from the Vosges Mountains to Strasbourg for its fortifications. It featured 11 locks altogether and was used for commercial transport until 1939. It officially closed in 57, but today it remains as a scenic water-filled route with a cycling path along an old towpath, part of the Eurovelo 5 trail, which we are following, and it's known for its natural beauty and its truly historic charm.
We arrived in Strasbourg in the early afternoon and then got ready for our splurge dinner of our trip, a meal at Au Crocodile in Strasbourg, a 1-star Michelin restaurant. And it was fantastic. To see all the sights of Strasbourg, we had decided to spend a rest day here.
Well, this was supposed to be a rest day from our bicycles to see everything we wanted to see. We realized we couldn't do it on foot and we got on our bikes. The first stop was the Barrage Vauban, which is a 17th century defensive dam and bridge built in the late 1600s. It was meant to be able to flood the southern part of the city in case of an attack, but today it's a beautiful covered walkway, sculpture gallery, rooftop viewing platform. It's really a beautiful spot to stop and see the sights.
Just behind the museum in Strasbourg. For a little bike ride today. The Grand Canal circles. This is the museum, we think, for Palace.
The Cathedral Notre Dame de Strasbourg is one of Europe's most iconic churches. Built between the 11th and 15th century at 142 meters, it held the record of the tallest building in the world for almost 200 years. We went up to the rooftop platform to see spectacular views of Strasbourg, and you could also see the etched graffiti left behind by people who had gone up there over the centuries.
Leaving Strasbourg, race to the train in Offenberg, 27 kilometers. It's a busy day on the cycle paths in Strasbourg. We're cycling down to the Rhine and up out of the Rhine a little bit to get to a 3-train trip to the capital of Luxembourg, which is Luxembourg. And like yesterday, Bastille Day, not a lot of cars on the road, a few more. More cyclists. Pleasant morning. It's like 18, 17 degrees and it's supposed to be 28 or so today. Crossing the Rhine. There's a couple Viking boats on either side of us here. So Strasbourg goes back there. Going over this very cool bridge. And see the other side of the Rhine hills over there.
This morning we're leaving Strasbourg to get on the first of 3 trains in Offenberg, Germany, which will eventually get us over to Luxembourg with the intention of getting to the Mosel River, which you'll see in subsequent videos.
A lot of wobbling going on. Safest is to go zooming past. Oh, they're trying to race us now. Oh, let's go to Slug. Danke.
Aber ich bin schneller.
Thank you. Danke. The boys are all racing us.
Servus!
And this bike's coming up too.
Ja, von hinten, komm auf!
Danke. We had booked our train tickets, but we didn't have reserved spaces for our bicycles, although they were allowing bicycles on the train. So every time we got on a new train, it was a bit of a scramble and a fight to get some space. There were people with dogs, and there were lots of bicycles and lots of standing up for the 3 hours or so for that day, but it was actually fairly easy to arrange. And there were a few other trips where we had designated parking spots for the bikes.
We arrived in Luxembourg City in the early afternoon in the rain. Luxembourg City, obviously the capital of Luxembourg. It really was a interesting blend of historic charm and modern institutions, and a lot of natural beauty actually. The old town and fortifications are a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and really dramatic geography to marvel at, with deep gorges and rivers cutting the city apart. And they put in this amazing panoramic elevator that we went up. It was fantastic, even in the rain.
Keep an eye out for the next video when we cycle from Luxembourg over into the Moselle watershed and then start cycling down the Moselle towards where it meets the Rhine.